everyone, this is Richard. Tonight, the conflict in Syria continues to climb heights. More than 100,000 people have died, and the brutalness does not stop. So we end tonight with a final look at the war on Syria by numbers. This month marks a macabre milestone. 1,000 bloody days since the civil war began in Syria.
That's more than 100 deaths for every day of the war. The Assad region has stockpiled more than 2.2 million pounds of chemical weapons, which are now being removed, but not before they were used on civilians at least 5 times. But this is no longer serious war alone. As many as 11,000 foreign fighters has flooded the country with extremely ideology. Nearly 10% of the entire population inside Syria, 3,000 schools have been damaged, leaving 2.2 million children with nowhere to learn. This biblical land is home to some of the most ancient structures on earth. The hallmarks that took 5,000 years to build have all been destroyed that century. The Bible tells us the world's first son Cain murdered his brother. The slaughter of brother by brother continues.
Now, Simon is going to interview 2 experts. Simon, can you hear me?
Interview 2 experts. Sir Arthur, I'm the reporter from International Channel 1. Our interview will focus for Syria's civil war. Could you explain the reason for this war?
Okay. Syria's human rights situation has been widely criticized by some of the world organizations. Emergency law gives the country's security force great power of arrest and detention. Since the implementation of the country's one-party system, there is no free election. Authorities have also been harassed and detained many human rights activities and other practices of government activities, constitutional rights of citizens, freedom of expression. Assembly and the association has been secretly controlled by the government. Women and children also face discriminatory treatment. According to the 2010 Human Rights Watch report, President Assad, since he took office, has done in the past decade to improve private of human rights. Situation in the country is failure, while the organization point out that the human rights situation in Syria is the world's worst one. In addition, the 2001 unrest in North Africa is making the situation in Syria has suddenly become a cause of tension.
So, thank you. Now I'm going to interview next expert. Hello, Dr. Paper. I'm a reporter from International Channel 1. What are the consequences of Syria civil war, especially for the government?
At the beginning of the civil war, there are only some demonstrations which are held for opposing the autocracy of government. But in following days, those demonstrations become a civil war because governments dispatched army to suppress the demonstration. After that, President Bashar tried to have a peace negotiations to deal with those social problems and civil war. However, Obatans refused this talking. Now, after 2 years ceasefire war, governments recover several main cities, and this makes the future and situation become difficult to predict.
Idea. Thank you to talking to us.
Back to studio. The social media in the civil war has played an important role. It shows that the style of media changed from traditional to new style in today. In this civil war, many fresh news are from Facebook or YouTube. The reason why this situation come out is that social media changes spread method. Facebook and YouTube changed the style of dispensing news to be easier and quiet, but it also has some disadvantages. This kind of news often have major subjective opinion. Therefore, it may influence the objective of news.
During those days, many houses have been destroyed. Hundreds of people have been killed in this war. What's the how?
Never stop. Our life security cannot be guaranteed. The government force use the gas bomb to attack us.
what's the best mode to win this war?
We have new weapons, the social media. It helps us to keep contact with our commander. Also, we use this to help us to keep on connect with the world. For example, we use some people who support us donate to us through our Facebook or Twitter. In other ways, we also update a video which records the civil war so that we can show what happens in this country and how we fight through the government.